Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, September 18th, and I'm your host, Krista McDonald. On June 28th, the town of Norwood was hit by a storm that brought over 6 inches of rain in less than 90 minutes. The storm caused widespread damage in town and hit the hardest was Norwood Hospital. The hospital has recently released security camera footage, which demonstrates not only the amount of water that rushed into the basement, but the power it had as it forced its way into the basement. The flash flood has caused extensive damage to the infrastructure of the entire facility, and the hospital has remained closed as they continue to assess the damage. In an NCM exclusive, President Sal Perla provides a hospital update, which begins with COVID-19 testing news.
So we are announcing today that we want to let the community know that in the very near future we will be opening a very similar coronavirus testing center here somewhere located on the campus, and we'll be providing you that update within the next couple weeks in the near future.
Perla also provided an update on the complicated process of getting the hospital back open.
There is a significant amount of work related to making the facility safe, assessing and working with the building inspector and insurance companies and etc. So there literally is crews here consistently, and although timelines aren't available yet, we continue to work towards that. So our first priority regarding services here at the hospital is to reopen our emergency department. We do realize that Norwood Hospital has served 15 towns with a regional STEMI center. It's very important to the community, and right now 100% of our efforts are focused on getting emergency services back to the community.
Perla stressed that even though the hospital is closed, there are many services still available to help you take care of your health. He also announced a brand new facility located right here in Norwood.
Our Guild facility, which is located across the street of the hospital, was not impacted by the flood. So what we have over there, along with many physicians and other services, are testing facilities such as diagnostic imaging. So we have a full array of imaging, which includes mammography, X-ray, CAT scan, ultrasound, and various others. And as we continue to work out of the flood, we're adding more services. However, I want everyone to understand that if you previously saw your OBGYN doctor here in Norwood or in Foxborough, that will not change. So what will change is that if you're having a procedure, we're going to give you a new location. You're still going to see the same doctor. The processes will still be the same. The registration will still be the same. It's just the location will be different. And we also have a great new announcement, which is our physical therapy facility. So we have a brand new state-of-the-art physical and occupational facility located here in Route 1 at Norwood. In Norwood, it's right next to Stewart Medical Group Orthopedics. It's a fantastic facility, 3,300 square feet, brand new, state-of-the-art. We have got aquatics, we've got treadmills in the water, really amazing stuff, and we look forward to taking care of your needs there.
Even during this difficult time, Perla remains optimistic that Norwood Hospital will be back better than ever.
So our future is nothing less than great and amazing. So while we are working through the very difficult time of assessment and scope and water mitigation, in the background are teams of people that are looking at how to make this facility something in the future that will be everything that every other area will be jealous of, and that everybody's going to want to be coming back to Norwood Hospital very quickly. And we look forward to the day that we can welcome everybody back to our campus.
The hospital is an institution here in Norwood and has many employees who live in town and they just want to get back to work. Perla appreciates the outpouring of support from the community and looks forward to bringing the staff back.
Norwood Hospital is a community hospital. We're here to serve the town of Norwood and all the surrounding towns, which really is 12, 13, 14, 15 towns. And we provide a lot of routine services, and then we provide a lot of services that are more advanced. And all those towns truly have appreciated it. And for us, not being here as a full hospital today is very difficult and emotional. It's not only for all the towns, because we know that it's providing them an undue stress, but for all of us here, all of the Norwood Hospital employees. things aren't the same, and we recognize that. So we really do appreciate all the kind letters, the notes, the Facebook posts. Thank you for continuing to support us during these difficult times. We really do look forward to the days when we actually start opening back up service lines, and we're able to bring our staff back and be able to provide the care that you're looking for here locally. So thank you for all the kind messages, and again, as we move forward, we will continue to communicate directly with you. We love working with NCM. We hope to be able to provide you more updates as things continue and progress. So again, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Perla, for the latest news. NCM is excited to continue our partnership. We will provide updates and continue to monitor the progress at Norwood Hospital. Stay tuned after this break for more town news.
Hey Norwood, Aubrey here, and excited to announce the launch of the Impaction podcast, inspiring meaningful prevention through action. I know that substance use prevention sounds kind of boring, but I actually find it really exciting. It gives me a chance to engage with the community to create a healthy environment for youth and adults alike. In this podcast, we'll be talking about things such as mental health promotion, anxiety reduction, and how to keep youth safe as they grow in our community. If you have any specific topics you would like Impact Norwood to cover in this podcast, please feel free to email Aubrey Ciol, ACIOL, at norwoodma.gov, or visit the Impact Norwood website. There's a space there to submit questions or requests for podcast topics. We look forward to hearing from you.
Welcome back. One of the challenges that the Norwood public school system was faced with when preparing to return to school in the hybrid model was staffing all the new positions that had to be created. With the state requirements of social distancing and the requirement to offer a remote learning academy, which would educate the children who chose at-home learning, this created a number of positions in the district which needed to be filled. For more on how they were filled, we go to Dr. Thompson.
Yeah, so simply we have to space students out, which means we can only have part of the students in a classroom at a time. So if we're doing that and some students are at home, and if we're going to be teaching them, there needs to be someone to do that. So by dividing the class basically in half, 45% is kind of what we're working with. You need more people to be able to meet with them in person and while they are remote in order to keep the quality of the program up. So that fundamentally is the piece. And why are we doing that? Because we have older, overcrowded elementary schools. We have a middle school where we do not have rooms that we can use under the new standards because they are interior rooms. They do not, our ventilation system, as many know, has needed to been replaced and repaired for a while. So we're only allowed to use certain rooms. Most of them are on the outside, or have shown and been tested to have good ventilation. At the high school, this high school was designed to have be very compact and efficient for its space, which is great in regular times. We're not there. We had to lower the numbers that were actually in our classrooms in order to get the social distancing needed to keep kids safe. So if you only have half the kids in and the other half are out, someone needs to teach the kids who are doing the remote piece.
As of this week, the tireless work of Dr. Thompson and his staff has paid off, and most, if not all, positions have been filled.
We believe that we've filled the last teacher role last night, this morning. We have a couple support type personnel that we're still looking for, but I suspect by Monday we will have those filled as well. So back to your original question about is it hard? There are people out there. The problem is that most districts are competing and swimming in the same pool to grab those people. So it's been a little difficult where we thought we had someone hired and slotted and they took a different position because it was closer to home or something along that line. So it's been challenging, mainly because of the time frame and the number of people we're looking for and competing with other districts.
Thanks, Dr. Thompson. We're all looking forward to a great school year. Mandy Sim, owner of the indoor play place Jam Time, explains how COVID-19 affected them early on before they had to close their business for a few months.
Jam Time certainly felt the effects of COVID very early on. Starting in February, when it was still not necessarily in the United States, my husband and I realized the effects that this could have on Jam Time. And early on, we started picking up extra cleaning supplies, picking up extra hand sanitizer. And funny enough that our hand sanitizer orders back in February kept getting canceled, which kind of led during the pandemic to Jam Time starting to manufacture our own hand sanitizer and creating a whole new company.
Mandy and her husband Malcolm had to get creative during the shutdown to keep their business afloat and stay active within the community.
Really, Jam Time, we try to do a really great job of just pivoting our business model from, creating Sanitizer Time, our new, now FDA approved hand sanitizer business, to, we were bringing Easter bunnies to people's homes. We were bringing character visits to the outside of people's homes for birthday parties. We started making birthday or play kits that we were delivering weekly to families. So we were making online videos and connecting with families that way. So while we were shut down, it was really, really important to Jam Time to be still connecting with their families and letting them know that, we still want to be a resource for children and families.
Similar to a lot of businesses, Jam Time also had to change the way they operate since reopening.
So since reopening, right now we are only doing private playtime. So we are having one family book. You have to pre-book. You can't just walk in. And it's one family, and you could have up to 10 people. So, you can come in with a friend that you've been quarantining with, or, a cousin, or maybe it's your daycare friend. So it's 10 people, and you come in, and masks are required, and you have Jam Time all to yourself. And after you leave, our team fully sanitizes everything. So you'll notice inside Jam Time is we removed a lot of the toys. So, instead of having like 5 babies or 20 Barbies, we might have half of that amount or just a few, because it's only one family playing at a time. Obviously no more ball pit. Our ball pit has been transformed into a little mini obstacle course. So we after leaving are able to sanitize and wipe down every single touch point. So, every single thing gets sprayed down, and we have time in between families before the next family comes in to ensure that you're walking into a fully sanitized Jam Time.
Mandy talks about future plans and slowly reopening to the public.
And our next phase is to open up into small groups. So our pass holders who had passes with us, and people who might not be able to afford to pay just to have the place to themselves, there'll be a small group public playtime that will be opening up soon as well. So that's the next phase, obviously in a very limited capacity. So, instead of having full capacity, we would be at 25% capacity, for example. So a very limited number of public. That's our future plan.
To learn more about signing up for a private slot time at Jam Time, visit their website at www.jamtime.com. And now we're going to toss it over to our good friend Brian Dunn with sports.
Hello everyone, and welcome into the sports update for this week. My name is Brian Dunn, and I want to wish all the athletes the best of luck as, if you can believe it, the fall sports season has officially begun. Lots of tryouts are happening and beginning over the weekend, and I hope all of you have a safe, competitive, fun, and healthy season. It'll definitely be a unique season for sure. With that being said, we can report the opening slate for the Mustangs in terms of game competition. Next week is an off week for practices, but the action starts as soon as September 29th, as the golf team will play their first match of the season against Millis. Golf will lead the charge up until the weekend of October 10th. That weekend in October 10th is a big day, where we will have cross country and boys soccer starting it, and then girls soccer will lead out that Sunday. Of course, we will have all the scores and updates when they come through, so keep it right here to the Sports Update for the latest news and updates. Thanks for watching, and a reminder to stay tuned for updates on our live sports coverage for this fall. Talk to you soon. Kristen, back to you.
Thanks, Brian. In schools, Thursday was the first day of school for the Norwood Public School System. The school committee voted for the hybrid option, and many changes have been made in the schools to keep the staff and students safe. Here's Principal Dr. Hugh Galligan with a report from Norwood High School.
Well, today is the first day of official school at Norwood High School, and it is so refreshing to have some students back in the building and have our students joining us from home at the same time to resume classes. It's been 6 months since we've been able to really connect with our students in this way, and we are so excited to be doing what we know best and what gives us great joy. To get here, there was so much work that had to be done from a health and safety standpoint, and just getting the building ready for our students both now and as we phase into our full hybrid learning model. So on the first day, it's just so nice to look outside, see a full parking lot full of staff members here, ready to go. And we've been itching for this for a long time. We welcomed our students that were physically here today with some chalk out front. We had a whole crew of staff members out front yesterday, putting welcoming messages on there so they can feel the love as they come on in. And then there was so much physical preparation that had to be done to make this a safe learning environment. So for the students that have already started, and for the students that will be starting in person over the next couple of weeks, there's so much work that had to be done. So you have to give a shout out to lots of people. First of all, our technology team did a tremendous job over the summer. They had at least 8 different opportunities for people to come in and swap out their Chromebooks. So they were working in the gym, doing contactless exchange of Chromebooks, refreshing them, cleaning them, disinfecting them, and getting new updated Chromebooks out to all our 9th grade students, making fixes for any students that needed it so they could be ready to start with remote and hybrid learning. You'll see lots of other physical changes to the building to help during this health crisis to keep kids and staff healthy and safe. So in the front office and in other high traffic areas, you would notice plastic dividers to keep some separation as you're interacting with our office staff. A huge shout out to our facilities and custodians. That crew worked all summer long to get this building physically ready. So the most daunting task was literally removing half of the desks from classrooms. So all of our classrooms are capped at 12 students this year to keep students at least 6 feet apart in the classroom. So each class is capped at 12. Typically in a normal school year, we would have about 25, 26 desks in each class. So those desks have been removed. Each class is ready to go, and general classrooms are capped at 12. We have that new classroom look, right? So there's so much space in there to keep everyone safe, to keep staff and students safe, and to keep learning happening at a high level. On the ground, there's going to be directional arrows. So all of our major traffic hallways are one-way only this year, and all of our stairways are one-way only. So our facilities crew is in here putting nice bright yellow, gold and blue decals on the floor so that students know which way to go. One thing is for sure, everybody's going to get their steps in this year and get a little bit of an extra workout moving around the building. We have multiple hand sanitizer stations around the building for staff and students to keep hand washing. You know, we're doing the 3 W's are what we've always preached, right? Wearing a mask, which you see I'm doing, and you'll see all our staff and students doing throughout here at Norwood High School. Watching your distance and making sure we're maintaining that 6-foot distance to keep ourselves safe. That's happening in the classrooms and elsewhere. And wash our hands. So we want to make those 3 things accessible for everybody in the building. In line with disinfecting, we have new classroom protocols, disinfectant wipes, high-powered disinfectant wipes in each classroom that allow us to disinfect surfaces as needed so that when classrooms change over from one student to the next, that surface is safe to work on. Several other things have even happened that are impacting our operations to make that smooth. Morning arrival and drop-off. We've had to consolidate that a little bit, so morning arrival will only be between 7:15 and 7:45 now. That spreads out the arrival just enough so it's staggered, but also allows to make sure that when students arrive, they have a safe place to go, because we can't have people congregating and hanging out like we used to and like we are used to. And then lastly, we have grab-and-go breakfast stations and grab-and-go lunch stations to allow for really a smooth pickup for students that are eating. So rather than the typical setup where you're serving from individual stations and carrying out a tray, it's kind of a grab-and-go breakfast and lunch where you might get a bagged, pre-made order, still fresh, still from our partner Chartwell's and our dining services. They've done a tremendous job. And you will see physical distancing markers in high traffic areas to go along with those markers, those arrows that we talked about earlier. Physical distancing markers in high traffic areas so that if you need to wait for something, because offices are capped at capacity, you'll have a safe place to wait at a safe distance. And in the morning, we'll have additional entrance and exit points in the morning and afternoon. Typically, we only go with 2 of those. We're going to increase that to allow for spreading out our traffic flow. We'll have additional entrance and exit points supervised by adults at arrival and dismissal. Above all, we are so excited to welcome back students, whether it be virtually or in person, back to Norwood High School, and for staff and students to be working closely together again. It looks a little bit different than it used to, but at the core of it all, teaching and learning is what we do, and we are so happy to be back doing that. Thank you.
The Extended Day Childcare Program has been approved to open 2 programs this fall to support parents and children enrolled in the hybrid model. K-5 students can register for the remote learning support and after-school programs beginning September 21st and 28th. The remote learning support is a new service and will be held from 8:15 to 3:30 at the Savage Center. Students will be grouped by school and will receive assistance in accessing remote learning, navigating the technology, and staying on task. They will also have access to outdoor recreation, snacks, and lunch. Parents must provide transportation and students must bring their Chromebooks. The cost is $46.50 per day per child and will be held on Monday and Tuesday and Thursday and Friday. The after-school program will run from 3 to 5 p.m. daily, but the new exciting news is that it will be offered at all 6 elementary schools. This eliminates bus fees and offers a safer after-school experience. Pickup will be outside and parents will not be permitted in the building. The monthly rate for extended day is $112 per child, and this option is for hybrid model students only. Both programs are not offered on Wednesdays. Students in both programs will be expected to remain socially distanced at 6 feet, wear a mask for the day, and follow guidelines for hand washing and sanitizing procedures. To register, call Norwood Extended Day at 781-551-3480 and press extension 2. In government, Monday's planning board meeting began with 2 minor site plan approvals for signage at new restaurants on Washington Street. The first, a continued hearing from their last meeting, was for Norwood Spice at 655 Washington Street. The applicant made the suggested changes that the board gave at their last meeting, and the plan was approved. The second was for Happy Kitchen at 663 Washington Street, which was also approved. The third hearing of the night was for the redevelopment of the existing Big Y supermarket and plaza. After about a half-hour discussion, the board came to a vote.
Just a question on the no parking area, and we know that has to go to the selectmen. Would that be that we would just, part of the condition would just be that we would write a letter letting them know the situation?
Requesting their approval.
Yes.
Yep.
So the responsibility will be the applicants to pursue that approval, but I would be glad to provide a memo to the Board of Selectmen explaining that this was discussed during site plan approval and that it was based on the recommendation from the project engineer to provide better truck traffic flow in and out of the site.
I think that would be great. That'd be helpful.
Okay.
Second part, I need a motion to approve with the conditions so stated on these. Mr. Sheehan.
Motion to approve with the conditions so stated.
And a second.
Aye.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan. On the roll call.
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Hatchie.
Aye.
Mr. Pachakowski.
Aye.
Mr. Bamber.
Aye.
The chairman votes aye. 5-0 on that.
The Planning Board will meet again in the coming weeks. Meeting in person for the first time in months, the Board of Selectmen held a public hearing in the Police and Fire Community Room. Owner of the new Norwood Spice restaurant, located at 655 Washington Street, went before the board to apply for a wine and malt beverage license. After a few questions and minimal discussion, the board approved the application. In new business, General Manager Tony Mizuko began with a request for authorization to place 2 tax tile properties to auction. The board voted to continue the discussion at their next hearing. Following the vote, General Manager Mizuko requested an approval for a contract between the town and LifeWorks to continue their services and a request for the town to allow rent reduction of 75% for the OCC and Norwood Printing for the months of July, August, and September, and allow rent reductions of 75% for October, November, and December. The board approved both. Later in the meeting, Selectman Donahue asked Mr. Mizuko about the status of the hospital reopening.
So this isn't me making it up. If gray water has touched parts of the system, it has to be completely replaced. It's a hospital. It has to be built and designed to a higher standard than my home or your home or a building. Because if there's any gray water that got in there and they reactivate that as a building, the potential for mold growth in a hospital is critical. So it's just a very, very difficult, challenging situation. Stewart is losing millions of dollars every single day. They have an asset that generates a lot of money. It's generating them nothing and costing them millions of dollars. It's an emergency room. It's not as simple as dry out the water, flip on the switches, and call it back. We're spending a fortune sending police and fire all over. Nobody wants the ER open more than I do, but it's not a simple matter of just bullying the hospital into hurry up and get an ER up and running.
It's not bullying. It's an honest question. It's not bullying at all. They're the ones that said that they would have an emergency room open. They're the ones that are going to come to us to ask for zoning changes and new concepts under zoning, and to change a part that's the center of the town in a very, very big way.
Right.
And part of that should be being a good community member and providing emergency care. It's not fun to see our ambulances zooming off to Needham, zooming off to West Roxbury, zooming off to Brockton.
I don't think they're delaying the opening of the ER. They don't not want to open the ER. I think that it's not my job to defend Stewart. They're a private entity, but it's not like they're sitting there saying, well, we don't care about getting the ER up and running. The longer they're down, the likelihood that their competitors will come in and pick up more of that business. They're not sitting there saying, we don't want to get an ER up and running. Believe me, they've been working on it. The town staff have been working on it. Inspectors are working on it. Everyone wants an ER up and running as soon as possible. You have to do it safe, and you have to do it in a practical manner, and you have to follow the rules and the regulations and the codes. Nothing in any of my meetings with them, and Mr. Plasko's been in these meetings with them, the building commissioner has been in meetings with them, the fire chief has been in meetings with them. Nobody thinks they're not trying to get there as quickly as they can.
The Selectmen will meet again next Tuesday. The Zoning Board of Appeals held a few public hearings in their Tuesday night meeting. Hearings included an additional request at 115 Garfield Avenue and an in-law addition for 28 Cedar Street. A heavy amount of the discussion centered around a continued hearing on the property at 600 Nichols Street. The applicant is seeking relief for a few lots of land on the property that stretches out toward Brook Street by the water near St. Timothy's Parish. After discussion, the board voted to approve the second variance requested on the application. The Zoning Board of Appeals is scheduled to meet again on October 6th. The Conservation Commission met on Wednesday night. They had 4 public hearings as well as regular business to discuss. John Kikich of Bowler Engineering proposed a project at 420 to 442 Walpole Street. Certainteed Roofing Company announced a new project idea for their property on 1077 Pleasant Street, and the new Conservation Commission agent Holly Jones gave her monthly report. The Conservation Commission will meet again on October 6th at 7:15 p.m. For complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government Channel or watch it on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break for more town news. Welcome back. Norwood Recreation is kicking into another gear with another great slate of fall programming. Assistant Director Katie Seastead fills us in on the latest happenings at Norwood Rec.
Hi guys, Katie Seastead here. I am excited to announce that we are starting our fall programming. If you follow us on social media, you'll see us on Facebook. This past weekend, we were able to launch our T-ball program, as well as our field hockey program. Our T-ball program usually runs in the spring. However, due to COVID-19, we had to postpone, but we're having a little fall ball classic. So that's an awesome opportunity. Kids were loving it out there. There's a lot of great teams. We saw a lot of great hitting. Working on the fielding, but it was only week 1. And then we have our field hockey program that's run by Allison Park Penza. It's another great staple to our fall programming. We're so excited that we were able to have it this year. And we have our great assistants, Allie McDonough and Rose Campbell. It goes from grades 2 to 8, and it's sold out really quickly. So we're super excited about that. And then lastly, we added a skills and drills football clinic. The Norwood Youth Football Association came in and, not having a season, we wanted to be able to help them out. So we are on Tuesday nights doing a skills and drills football clinic at Coakley. There are still a couple spots available, so if you're interested, I know grades 3 and 4 sold out, but all the other grades are open. So if you have any questions, please contact the Civic Center. And then we're also going to be super excited to do other programming. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as our MyRec for our latest updates.
Another exciting offering for the fall is the drive-in movie nights over at Mercer. The parking lot for the time being will be converting into a drive-in movie theater.
Drive-in movies, who's excited? We are. So we have decided this fall, due to some of our special events not being able to run, we wanted to run a drive-in movie series. So hopefully we're going to be doing 6 to 8 movies in total. Our first one is this Saturday, September 19th. We are showing Spies in Disguise. We opened registration last night, which would be Tuesday, and we almost sold out. I think there's only like 20 spots left. Opening on the 25th, we have Jurassic Park. That is on a Friday, and that is registration will open on Monday, the 21st of September at 9 a.m. So please get ready to register. And then following Jurassic Park, we have The Greatest Showman on Saturday, October 3rd. All of the movie nights are going to be held on One Investors Way. It is also the home of Mercer. Cars are able to come at 6 o'clock. We're not going to be able to be on property before then, so you can come at 6 p.m. All cars have to be parked by 7:15, and movie starts at 7:30. We might be changing it a little bit for the following movies, just because it is getting darker a little bit sooner. So please look out for the biggest updates, or the most up-to-date updates, I would say, on our MyRec social media, as well as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're super excited. We want to make sure all of our families remember that when you are using the restroom or when you're going to the concession stand, please put your masks on. If you are at your car, you're okay to not have your mask on, but we ask you to stay at your car. It's not really a place to be mingling. We want to be social distancing and being safe, and we are you're taking your trash out with you. We want to make sure we leave this parking lot beautiful. When you pull up, you'll see it is beautiful, and we want to make sure we're great partners with Mercer. If you have any questions, please contact the Civic Center. Like I said, Jurassic Park is our second movie on Friday, September 25th, and that registration will open at 9 a.m. on Monday, September 21st. Moving forward, our registration will happen on Mondays at 9 a.m. Thank you, Norwood, and have a great day.
And last but not least, Norwood Rec welcomes their newest Assistant Program Director, Christina Grandi. Christina comes to Norwood from Brockton and is excited to join the Norwood community.
Hi everyone, I'm Christina Grandi. I'm the new Recreation Programming Coordinator for the town of Norwood. I'm very excited to be here. I previously worked at the Brockton Area ARC, which is a nonprofit organization that supports people with special needs. I'm looking forward to making the switch from serving one population to an entire town. If you see me around town, please come up and introduce yourself, or please feel free to come by the office, and I will see you at a movie night.
Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.